I recognize the leader of the third party.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Despite the housing minister's highlighting his capital budget with a 70% increase for affordable housing, his budget doesn't appear to include any funding to have MB Housing build complex care housing for the homeless population. This is something I first proposed here in the legislature 2 years ago to ensure that there was housing for the homeless with wraparound services, including health care and other services. Its need now is even more urgent than before. Providing complex care housing with wraparound services such as mental health support, addiction treatment, employment assistance, and case management can help people with complex needs tremendously. Given the urgency of these needs to be done by government now, not downloaded to the community groups, why hasn't the Minister of Housing included funding to build publicly owned and operated complex care housing in his capital budget to address the homelessness crisis?
I recognize the Minister responsible for Housing, New Brunswick.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. This is an important priority for us, is to build resiliency at every stage of the housing continuum. We know that we need support not only in shelters, not only in independent public housing living, but along every stage of the continuum to make sure that people can be supported in the way they need to in the communities they're living in. That's why we've championed new projects for bridge housing to make sure that we can get people out of homelessness and keep them out of homelessness while transitioning them into permanent housing. But it's also why we're going to keep making sure that our capital public housing investment funding supports that, and also the work that we do in community through our operational budget supports continues to support our community partners that are leading the vast majority of our nonprofit work in community to be able to lead those, own those, and be able to drive better results for communities where people are at and where we're seeing the need in population.
Je reconnais le chef du tiers parti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, given the urgency of the homelessness crisis, Madam Speaker, this government can't be putting the burden on building housing to respond on community partners. Complex care housing in BC is built by Housing BC. MB Housing should be building complex care housing as part of their public housing portfolio. The Minister spoke about the Forest Hill sleeping cabins project as a bridge, as bridge housing, but Madam Speaker, at the moment it's a bridge to nowhere. It provides much-needed secure and private emergency shelter for those out in the cold who otherwise might be living in tents, yes, and who can say no to that? But there isn't supportive housing for them to move to. What are the Minister of Housing's plans to actually build complex care housing with wraparound support services to address the needs of the homeless population when they are supposed to cross the bridge into new housing?